not dead yet. It's your boy, back at it again. I have not died and I have grown out my hair, so I'm here to make a video. If you haven't read the video title, which would be weird, I'm going to talk about my favorite game of all time, Dungeons & Dragons. So I'm going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons and why I think it is one of the best games that helped me with acting and stuff. So just a quick lesson to you about myself. I really like acting. I think it's fantastic and I really enjoy doing it. And one thing I really like about Dungeons & Dragons is that the whole time you are just acting. Basically, I'm going to go over a few points explaining what I think about Dungeons & Dragons and why it's a great game to help you out with like acting in general. Improv. First thing you need to know about D&D when you're doing this, you improvise a lot. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where you're going to be taken. If you're a player, you've got no idea what's going to happen. You don't know you don't know what's going to happen. Something completely out of the blue could go like, bam, ow, there you go. Something just happened. And if you're a dungeon master or a game master, like literally, you don't know what the players are going to do. You're going to have to go on the fly. You're going to have to continue making up new stories, making up new characters, making up different new things, and it's all going to be on the fly because chances are, as a dungeon master and a player, you don't know what's going to happen at all. You have like okay, maybe they're going to do this, maybe they're going to do that, but you never know what's going to happen. Number 2, voice changes. So this applies a little bit more to dungeon masters than to players, but it's still pretty big on both ends. I take a lot of inspiration for my dungeon mastering from Matthew Mercer. He is fantastic, and something that I really admire about him, he has a very specific voice for each character. A great example is Pumad, a character that he plays as a shopkeeper. And you could have made like a normal shopkeeper or a grumpy voice, I don't know, dwarf, something very simple. He decided to take a very unknown race, take a very amazing voice, and then just play it off and he's a hello there, I'm Pumat Soul. That was god awful, but I mean, what he does is pretty good. So as a dungeon master, you have a lot of different voices that you have to explore, and I recommend doing that. Looking at every single different voice that you can do and applying it. And as a player, it's also great. I mean, you literally make a new, like, a voice for your character, and you have to go along with this voice for I don't know how long. I have currently 2 characters. I have Thelonious and I have Hrothgar. Thelonious being a tiefling bard, and Hrothgar being a dragonborn paladin. And they could not be more opposites. One of their voices is a very deep, strong voice. One of dignity and passion. One of a brave warrior striving for righteousness for one's path. Second one is kind of chill. This guy just does whatever he wants. He's 17, right? He just does whatever he wants. He goes around, he casts spells, he plays his thing, he's like, bow, bow, you're dead. Gets spells, does whatever he wants, yeah, it's pretty simple. And that segues perfectly into my next point, character methods. So, I didn't know the word exactly for this, but what I mean by that is, you know your character and you get into your character really quickly. So whenever I play Thelonious, which is what I play more, I immediately know what I'm going to do. Body posture, immediately get into like my kind of cocky attitude. Think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, yeah, it's good. What's up, guys? Back at it again. And even if we're not talking directly to a PC or to an NPC, I still keep the voice up because I just like to keep going with the voice. Make sure I stay on that voice. It's a little bit kind of like the Stanislavski method, but just like toned down a lot more. Just what I like to do. The only times I break voice is if I have a very serious question or if I need something explained. And the same goes with Rockgar. Whenever I play Thelonious, I just go, relax there. What's up, guys? It's good. Rockgar. Straight back. Empowering stare. Slam my fist on the table. I don't know why, but I think that's going to be cool if a Dragonborn Paladin does that. These kind of things. And it's just good to explore everything you can do, which I think is fantastic. And to the final point, and something that I really enjoy is emotional spectrum. When I play a character, and they get angry, I tend to know what they would say. Because I'm staying in character, I know what they've been through. I've made their backstory. I just keep going on with that. When they're happy, when they're happy, you can react as you would, as your character would, and it's just, you can practice this massive emotional spectrum. If you watch Critical Role, which is a podcast I really like, you can find it on YouTube and on Twitch. You can see how invested all the players are and how invested the Dungeon Master is, Matthew Mercer. They live through their characters' eyes. They know what they're doing. They know what their characters would do, even if the player wouldn't do that because it's a dumb thing to do, because it makes no sense. If their character would do it, they stick to it, and that's what I think is so great about Dungeons and Dragons as an acting practice exercise thing. So the reason I think that Dungeons and Dragons also helps with writing your stories, this goes mostly for Dungeon Masters, but also for PCs. When you are playing as a Dungeon Master, you flesh out a story. You know everything. You make these little things here and there. And the way I like to do it is very much like Matthew Mercer. When my character says, I want to cast Fireball, I say, okay, as you do this fire burns in your hands, and you shoot this flame out of your hands as it disappears, but then it just explodes in the area that you pointed it at, burning everything and burning all the goblins to a crisp as they can not be seen, scorched and ashened throughout the battlefield. That's what I really like doing, because all my players are like, whoa, I just did that, that's so cool. Well, they don't actually say that, because we're all 15 and we're all like, that's cool, yeah. But it's just the whole thing is just cool, and the writing and the improvisation that goes into that just helps me with writing plays or whatever. And I don't know, I really enjoy it. And as a player, you also, when you make your character, at least when I make my characters, I tend to make a story for them. Really quick, Thelonious, circus guy, hated everything about his life. He decided, hey, you know what? Screw this. I'm leaving. And so he left. He stole his family's stuff. His family hates him. He doesn't. This is the best part. This is the part that I like the most about Thelonious. He decided not to go for a quest. So basically, his mom died, and that's why he's sorcerer bard. That's why he has the sorcerer part. But he just doesn't. He doesn't care that who his mother was. He knows he has his powers, but he just doesn't care because he doesn't need it. And just these kind of things just pop up in your mind, and then when you apply them to a writing piece, you're like, oh wow, that's really good. So you're writing down these stories for these characters, and it makes your writing so much more fluent, so much better. So my conclusion, Dungeons and Dragons, to me at least, explores all different branches of acting for me when I get into a character. It gives me a character to play. It gives me something to do. And if I'm a dungeon master, I constantly switch positions and improvise on the flow, on the go. You don't even know what's going to happen, but you need to do something. So thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like down below. So I might upload soon, later, I don't know. But I just upload whatever I want, and today I felt like uploading a thing about Dungeons and Dragons. So you're probably gonna see a lot more Dungeons and Dragons content on this channel, but I'm also gonna do like some skits and stuff. Um, so yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in like another 6 months. Peace.